Hello. Just testing out some bits again. It's been a while. Let's see, is audio working? Seems to be working alright. Let me know if there are any issues with audio or video. I'm going to try and remember which direction to move my camera in. Okay, I think I'm all set. Just going to test out some quick transitions of scenes. What we got? Photoshop is working. That we like to see. Chrome we don't have up. Yeah, that's all good. Alright. Sweet. Alright, that seems to all be working for the time being. So we'll stay in just chatting for a little bit. And I'll sort of explain what we're going to do today. Basically, I have got some... I've got less free time at the moment to properly plan streams like we did a couple of weeks ago. So what we're going to do today is a little bit of a mix of a workshop. So still going to be working on, as you probably saw already, some isometric tile sets, which is going to be next week's challenge that I'm going to be working on this weekend. But basically today is going to be working on those tile sets to then post for the challenge. So this will be next week's tutorial that we're going to work on today. So I'm just going to show you guys how to do it and explain my thought process a little bit more rather than giving like a structured workshop like it was 2 weeks ago. Just to see if this is easier for me to be able to sort of like, you know, get two things done in one basically. So I can do the stream, get my tutorial assets ready and see if we can sort of speed up that process so I can stay more consistent with it. But yeah, that's basically how today's going to be. So I've got some tile sets. I'm just going to go straight into it, as this will be VOD afterwards that one of our moderators will be cutting down. So if we do ramble on or whatever, it doesn't really matter. The bits that are relevant will be kept. But yeah, for now, we're just going to jump straight into workshop sort of vibes as people come in. I'll recap anything that is missing, but essentially this is what we've got for today. So these have been given to us by one of our moderators. You may see him on the Discord. It's RLM. That's the name he goes by on Discord. And basically he just provided these for me this week, as I have been literally away on work-related stuff. And essentially that's what we're going to try and create today. Just create using what we practiced on the last workshop. So you know, we've already looked at how to set up a grid for isometric pixel art. We've already looked at how to create these, what do you call it? These little slabs. And basically today what we're going to do is just use what we've learned to create little assets so we can start creating our own little tile maps. So if we do want to ever use them for game development or for pixel art, you've already got sort of like modular tile sets you can add to your game, be it Unity or whatnot, and hopefully this will be like a fun way for you guys to start learning how to practice it. Obviously, as always, this is just a way to go about it. There are many different ways that you can play around with modular pieces, but this is just me sort of showing you what you could do once you created your own set of these. So yeah, that's basically what today's going to be about, sort of building stuff so you can have a little landscape kind of like this and you can start plopping in your house. So if I give me a second to load up last week's outcome, which was a house that we've already pre-built. Where did I save it again? It was collab projects, mini challenges. There we go. Isometric town. Oh, did I not save it on here? Let me see if I can pop that in here. There we go. Basically what we're going to be doing today is just adding the house and make a little world around it. Welcome, Stephen. Welcome. Yeah, just to sort of recap again, as we're still early in the stream. Today's session is going to be doing pixel art tile sets, and basically we're going to plop down the house that we created last week and plop it around some tile sets that we're going to be creating. Obviously, like I've already mentioned, this may differ depending on what software you want to add it to, be it Unity, Godot, whatnot, but we're just going to show you how to sort of create like a modular tile set for isometric pixel art. So we're going to cover the basics like stone, dirt, mayhaps delve into water a little bit, see how that goes, and yeah, just go over some basics just for you guys to sort of start creating a little bit of something with it. And I'll give some tips on how I would go about designing these myself. So I'm going to put house away for now, and let's start from the beginning. Basically, if you need to create grid, where is a different color pen? let's go on a different layer. Oh, that's not the pen we want. We want a pixel patch. There we go. So if you do want to start, remember for isometric pixel art, it is a line pattern of 2, 1. So 2 across, 1 above, or 2 across, 1 below. And once you've got that line, you can then, depending on the software you've got, duplicate, group it, duplicate again, and then you've got the basics of the line. And once you get that line big enough, you can then just copy, paste, transform it, flip it, and then make sure you get that X, and voila, you've got the basics of your pixel art isometric grid. I think last week I also showed base bright, but if not, let me load up base bright real quick. So if I go move base bright down here, and then I think did I edit this last time? Software capture. I'm going to quickly change software to base bright. Voila. Oh, how's that looking? Kind of works. Okay, so, and if you remember on Ace Bright, I'm just going to quickly go in. Oh, wait, throwing my keyboard shortcuts. There is a line tool. I don't know why the UI is so zoomed in. There is a line tool that you can see just off the side here, which is Shift L, I think, the shortcut for it. And that literally gives you the ability to create your lines much easier than it is on Photoshop. So that's just the Ace Bright example. I just use Photoshop. Oh, wait, I forgot to change back to Photoshop. There we go. Discard changes. Oh. Ah, welcome, Bubba. Welcome. So transform. If you haven't used Photoshop before, it's kind of the same as pretty much any other software that has an ability to take a shape layer and transform it, meaning you can increase its size, move it about. So it's basically, so I don't know if it shows the pop-up. Let me go and look on OBS if it shows the pop-up for it. Okay, so it doesn't show you when I right click. Basically within Photoshop, if you click on a layer, as you can see here, if I press Command T, or Control T, depending on if you're using, what is it, Mac or Windows. I'm using Windows, so I'll be mixing between the two. So if I ever say Command or Control, you know which applied to whichever OS you're using. Basically, it allows me to sort of rescale however I want. Obviously in Photoshop, because it's a different type of software that isn't pixel specific, it will increase the size of my stuff even with all of these, but it will do it in a pretty bad way, to be fair. So you'll need to clean up all these jaggies and that. There are better ways to resize in Photoshop for pixel art, which is literally just going onto the canvas resizer, which for some reason I can't seem to. Oh, there we go. Image resize or canvas resize. I don't know if you can see the pop-up. It doesn't show the pop-up. Ignore me, I cannot show the pop-up. But basically, if you go onto image and image size or canvas size, you can then, well, the image size is the one to make the aspect ratio bigger. So whenever I've done those challenges that I've said, can you please upload your pixel art at 1920 by 1080? This is kind of what I mean. So you do your pixel art canvas in like a small sort of scale like you normally would, and then using Photoshop, or even if you're using Ace Bright, you can sort of rescale it. That's the best way to do it, to resize it this way. Obviously in Photoshop it's a little bit more tricky to just increase the scale by dragging it like you would of any shape. There we go. But basically, obviously you can't see on the screen, but if I were to Control T and then right click that same shape, I'd be able to flip it horizontally, 90 degrees, clockwise. I get options to warp it. So obviously, you know, doesn't necessarily work too much for pixel art, as you can see, but if you're doing anything that's digital art based, these are sort of great tools to play around with. So it could help. So you could use it as like a base layer if you wanted to try and get, what is it, a sort of curved shape. So if we sort of turn on the opacity here. Also, let me know if you can't see some of my shortcuts. I've just realized I've got screen clutter on all my panels are on the left. So I may wait. Hold on. I'm gonna quickly move. I'm gonna quickly move my chat. So which one's which? I need to try and remember what I've done here. So I don't want to touch that. I don't want to. Is this the one I want? No, this I need. Oh, this I need. Okay, can't move checks. That's in stream elements. I'll sort it out later. But I've just realized I've got all my panels on one side of the screen. No matter though. But yeah. Basically, that's what transform does. There's a lot of different tools within Photoshop, so if you do want to try and just play around with it, you can do, but again, not essential, not necessary. It's just more if you want to quickly rotate, flip a shape, turn 90 degrees, or play around with the perspective of it, you can do. But it mainly, these tools are mainly used for whenever you're playing around with like digital art, as it does make it a little bit easier to do. Alright, so back to workshop. So that's essentially how you make grid. Grid is pretty simple. It's a bit more tedious in Photoshop, so if you want to recreate your grid in Aseprite and then drag it into Photoshop, that can be done. Like if you export your grid from Aseprite, just remember to have it as like an alpha background, so transparent, and you can just drag it into Photoshop and it should be the same pixel ratio. Just remember not to upscale anything. And yeah, I'll put this grid at a lower opacity so it isn't too jarring for people. And then block the layer once again. Also, is my audio working well? I don't know if I'm having issues with audio, because last time apparently people couldn't hear me, my voice is quite quiet, so if audio does go alright, let me know. I'll try and fix, but I think it was working when I tested it earlier, but again, you never know. So, recap on how to create isometric tiles. So, as we saw from last week's, essentially, well, I'll just do the one. Give me a sec. It's pretty simple. Just follow the grid lines that you've done. So, if I quickly go and replicate what RLM has done here. Essentially, you just want to find the sort of width that you want to go for. So, in this case, he's gone for 2 by 2. And then, essentially, what he's done, you can just duplicate. Oh. There we go. You can just duplicate the layer, so you got these two here. Oh, is the music loud? Wait, give me a sec. Okay, I'm gonna turn the music down a little bit more. Okay, how is that sounding for the music? And then for voice, I think this was... Wait, I'm playing around with the gain on my mic. I think this is about it. I'm just trying not to get my voice to hit the red. Well, the red is in like the sound spectrum bar that I got on OBS. Okay. I'm just gonna talk louder than normal and see if that... Is this better? Yeah, okay, that seems to be alright. We'll keep it there. Alright, so yes. For creating a tile set, for those who weren't here, essentially... Oh, let me go back on here. Just combine these two together, and then you can just follow the lines that you had on the back, and then you've got your basic tile. And then if you want to resize it, it's literally just selecting just the top bit, and you can move it down as much as you want, and then clean it up. So we can leave it there. We can clean up the edges, and then you've got like a smaller slab. So that's how you create. Just a little refresher on that. And basically, because today we're doing a classic sort of tile set, most tile sets usually like have like 9 tiles you want to go for. So if I turn them all again, so you usually have like a middle tile, which is going to be like just the pure color. So if you're doing like a top-down, yeah, this is, yeah, top-down perspective pixel art piece. This middle section that I'm going to highlight in green. Apparently it doesn't want to let me highlight in green. Wait, what? Oh, there we go. Sorry, wrong thing chosen. So this would be like the full color bit. So this would be like just like a grass tile that you want to play with. And then for the bits around it, this is literally what would be like a corner tile, a half tile, and then it's just a half tile but in different areas. And this is essentially the basics of most tile sets that you want to do when making a game. So when you put them together, like I showed earlier, you can start sort of combining those half tiles together to be able to create paths. and you still are within your sort of pixel grid that you're trying to create. Obviously, we'll play around with sizing and all that stuff later on when we got our stuff properly done. But essentially, whenever you're creating any palettes, even if it is for... So I'll turn off the pixel... Oh. I'll turn off that grid. So even if you're working on something that is just top down, so example, if we're just playing with this here, you still want to be able to have one that's like half tile or a corner tile. And then if we switch to a brown, that's a horrible brown. Wait, there you go. It would be something along these lines. Obviously, this ain't perfect, but you can kind of see the basics of how you could plan around your tile set. And then you can easily flip it. I did have a tutorial, but I don't have the files on me, where I did lava tile sets or grass tile sets, which shows basically the same concept, but this is just done in isometric art. So one of the things we're going to be looking at as well is, you know, highlighting or shading your pieces as well to try and get that look. But that's pretty much it. Ooh. Wait, why is it not letting me delete? What have I done? There we go. Nice. But yeah. So once you've got your outlines, if you've got your sort of base for each one, you want to go ahead and add some color to them. So in this case, you can just go ahead and fill. And this kind of shows a much cleaner version of what I was talking about, where you've got your half tiles, your corner tiles. Issue with isometric pixel art is you can't simply, like if I were to go on this one, for example, if I were to duplicate that, I can't just transform it to go, okay, go horizontal. Doesn't really do what I want it to do. And if I want to rotate to, say, flip horizontal, vertically, even though the grass, or move it to the top, even though this corner bit is at the top and they're literally the same size, the rest of the perspective is a bit messed up. So with isometric, the main issue with it is that you have to redraw for every single perspective, meaning you have to draw it 9 times. Whereas with more traditional sort of top down, say example, if we go here, fill this in, and then we create a little tile set. Oh, that was a noise. I don't know what I put in there. Must be an alert for something. Basically here, if we then take this shade, we draw it there. Same here for the half tile sets. This is all you ever need to draw. For top down, this is all you'd ever need to draw, because basically from here, you can then just, oh, you flipped it. Nice, you got that side. And same here. Oh, you flipped it. Got it. And you essentially just only need 3 tiles that you need to draw. And you've got your tile set, and you can then start playing around with the tile set that you can flip it like we did, and you've got your path here. Same here, and then you've got like a little T-junction, or you could continue the path up here. And then you can flip this around. Oh, wrong one. There. And then you probably need to do one that's specific, that's kind of the opposite of one of these, where it's that, but it's got a little, ooh. So that would be some of the only other ones you need to do. So for the difference between making tile sets for top down and isometric is that this is how many tile sets you're going to need for creating anything that's top down. Because as long as you can connect the corner with this one, you've got a sort of standardized sort of flat plane and variations of it. So if you wanted to add like flowers, for example, you could. So you could have one tile set that's got little flowers on it. Let's do a little yellow for the center. Ooh. That's not a yellow. Sorry. That's way too bright. But you mean you get the idea. So you could have one like that, and then you could do this one with just a slightly darker green for the grass. Same here. This is all you would need for designing one, but obviously because we're doing isometric, you need to design one for every single side, and then you're also probably going to need to design one specifically for the corner, so we'll have to probably invert how this one looks. And And then you need to design it again for... I mean, to be fair, once you've done it for these 4 times, you could just sort of duplicate and then just mess around with the color a little bit. Oh, didn't want to resize. But you've got the same principle, just you need to draw it more often. So delete those to show you what I mean in practice. What tile sets could I use here? So this could be doing this. Ooh. Moving that out of the way. Obviously you need to align things a bit more, but as you can see, this is the type of asset you could create using just those things. And obviously you can increase the width of it by moving in the amount of green towards the center of each bit, moving it around, but essentially that is what you'd be using tile sets for. Let me get one on this side. And you've got yourself a little road. So yeah, it can be that simple, but it does take a while to sort of set it up properly. Obviously as well, it doesn't have to be half blocks. If you have got, most of the time when you're working with tile sets, you've got like a grid scale that you want to work towards, so that you can, obviously that would vary depending on what you want to do. Obviously in our case, we're using 2 of these little blocks as our sort of one big unit. So if we do want to do anything smaller within them, we can go into the sections, but essentially 2 of these together. Let me move this. Actually, wait, I'll do it. Essentially 2 of these blocks together. Ooh. Oh, I wonder who did these. I wonder who drew these. Look at me destroying your work. But yeah, basically this would be like a full unit, and then you can do it with halves and you can do quarters if you want to go for more details and that stuff, but essentially this is how you're going to play around with them. Alright, let's bring it back to where it was. Ooh. Reduce that back down again. So talked about outline, talked about color, and without outline. Obviously, depending on your game, you may want to keep the outline to some degree or not, but as I always say, just use colored outlines. So that's literally just being like, oh, this is the green, so you just find the darker version of your green. So in this case, it will be this shade, and you can just highlight the edges with that sort of green color that you want to get that texture. Same here. Obviously, if it's already dark, it's already dark, but you can add a little bit more shading if you so wish to it to keep some of the lines. But I'd advise adding outlines here, because when you join them together, it's not going to look the best. So only add outlines to those edges if you can. So I guess we'll work from these ones here then, as I can. So, you know, RLM's already given us all the highlighting and it's all looking very good. But I'll show you how to basically get to this stage using these. I'm gonna get a quick bit of water. Sweet, all right, let's begin. What time are we at? 25. All right, so I'll go over a couple of tile sets just for you guys to have an idea. I'm not gonna do all of them for this stream. Just do a couple and then I'm gonna do the rest later for the tutorial. I'll cover... You talk about the grass you've just drawn. Talk about the one you drew. Yeah, I'm just gonna... Ooh. Ah. I don't know why Photoshop keeps being weird whenever I select stuff. What should we draw? Don't bully me. Well, lucky for you, I'm gonna teach you some ways you can make grass look nice. Even though it probably won't. Grass is a weird one to do. It depends on what game you want to do. Because, like, hey, let's go and take a detour onto Pinterest. That's always a great time. Where is my... Let me look up something on Pinterest real quick. Let's go and get some inspiration for grass. Alright, OBS. We are switching to Chrome. Whoa, grass tiles. grass, the best way that I found to do it, like, you don't have to do shit like this. Like, this is a lot of work, and obviously may not tile correctly. So don't think that you need to do things like this because it may not tile the best. Some of the best ways to go around creating grass is literally as simple as this. So create some edge lighting, which this is probably the style that I'm going to go for today. Or even this, like if you want to go even simpler, this can work. As long as you've got an edge highlighting on your sort of ground to grass area, like in this one as well, and you've sort of indicated some variety of grass around, that is all that matters for it. You don't need to go heavy in the detail. Again, see, this is how you would split like a, this is how you would split your tile map to look basically like this. You don't need much detail on grass, particularly if you're doing something more low-key. Or even here, like this looks beautiful, very subtle grass effects. Like, you don't need to do a lot to sell the effect of grass. Obviously, you can add more stuff later, like if you want to add, you know, this sort of level of detail. But again, that would be for something more artistic. It might not work for the same way for something that is for a game. So like I explained before, you can literally just create tile sets that would probably be like, this square would probably be a tile just for this type of flower. This square here could probably just be these little bits. Here could just be very sparse grass, and then just plain blocks. Like, genuinely, it doesn't need to be that overcomplicated. These are some like good examples of how you could do grass. Oh, wait, there was one there that was quite fun. I wouldn't necessarily go for something that's too repetitive. So these patterns are great. Like, if you want patterns, these are great patterns, but I would avoid doing grass that looks repetitive because it can look messy depending on the resolution you're at. Like, this kind of works. I mean, this isn't really pixel art, to be fair, that's different. That looked like pixel art on the low scale. I'll take that bit back. Where's some other examples? Like, here it works quite well. It looks like it's pixel art, but it's quite subtle, so it looks a bit more fuzzy. So you may have to play around with like your color contrast to make that work a little bit better. But generally, I wouldn't necessarily go for something so repetitive, even if it's to show like a dense wood, because you kind of want to give some like visual cue. Like this works well because it's got a variety of different things. It looks more natural. The minute you start making it look too uniform, to me personally, like, it begins to sort of break it down. Like, the only time where it looks good is when you've got considered lighting, and it makes the grass feel more realistic. Like in these ones here, where, you know, you've got different levels of grass in each of it, but these may not work the best for tile sets because, again, that will be a lot of work to have individual tiles for different shading areas. So, you know, this could be like a whole different tile set to what a tile set here could be. So it just depends on how much workload you want to put on yourself for your game. So we'll go back to Photoshop. That's what you're going to do payment for it. I mean, I'd always say give it a go at least. I know you've already done them. You've already given them a shot here. Like, legit, I think the thing I was literally going to tell you is that you did good with making the edges look a little bit more like rugged and that. But literally, all you need to do is just like, wait, let's see. Let's put my theory to the test. So, as I was saying, the less repetitive you make it, usually the better. So, if we remove some of these little areas around here, just to reduce a bit of that sparsity, just make it more like little globs around somewhere, and give some of these a bit more intention. So, you know, like a little grass bit here, grass bit there, break these apart a little bit. Just play around a little bit around here. Okay, let me grow. Oh. Oh, did I not change it? I apologize. I thought I switched. Hello. We're back on Photoshop. So yeah, generally for grass tile sets like this, you could just like look to have reduced a little bit of what the repetition and sort of clustered your grass around here. Adding little bits of variety, clustering them more like... You can still keep like some order with them to have them all pointing upwards. So then it keeps some visual like balance. Rather than having some that, you know, go sideways or whatnot. But from a distance, it begins to feel a bit more like a grass patch rather than just like noise in a thing. Obviously, you can be a little bit more considerate, but alas. That was literally the only thing I could have said to clean up a couple of them, just to give it a little bit more breathing space to at least give the grass the sense that there is like actual grass blades there that you can physically see. So that's why sometimes for grass, what I would do, if we... Okay, so today we're just going to focus on... Not going to do this. Not going to do this. Nope. 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 We're just going to focus on these three, as these are the most important corners. I don't like this dark green. Give me a sec. Hue shift. Oh, you can't see me. Hue shift. Okay. Hue shifting time. So we're going to follow my curve. So we're going to end up darker here and go towards the blue. That looking better. That's looking a little bit nicer. We like that. Actually, wait, no, I've got color palette. What am I doing? Whoa, magic. Whoa. Love a good color palette. Apollo is a very great one. Wait, I'll move. How's that? I mean, yeah, that could work, to be fair. Is that better, me putting the panels here? Or do you guys want more space here? Actually, I'll lower this down because we're not animating. Alright, I'll keep it here, actually. Yeah, because you guys don't need to see how organized the layers are that I got sent. Bless up layer organization. We love this. Just quick shout out to layers being well organized. Alright, come on, where's my little... Move it back here. Sweet, that works. Alright, grass time. So if I go back to Chrome and we look at more grass, so what style did we say we're going to try and look at for reference? I mean, not to say that any of these are bad, it's just my personal preference on how I want to go about it. Which should we teach? Alright, I kind of want to go and show you guys how to do these ones and these ones here. So these two are the ones that I like the most because they are the simplest and literally do more with less, which is what I always enjoy. So for tile sets like this, how many colors do they have? 1, 2, 4. Okay. Let's switch back. Art software. Wait, what do you mean indicator on Asebright? Wait, let me load up Asebright. Oh, you mean like the little... Wait, I'll switch my software real quick. Bear with. Are you literally referring to this little... Oh, why is it not showing? Why is it not showing the little marker? Ah. Okay, there we go. Yeah, you talk about these little, the white and black marks that come up. I mean, to be fair, Photoshop does have that to some degree. Wait, let me switch back to Photoshop. Switch in. Like, I mean, it kind of has that with the blue. It's not the best, but like, it's there. I like this bit a lot. So like the color history at the top, I quite like that because it shows. Like, if I forget which color I've done, if I'm trying to figure out color palette, I can quickly switch between the two. Oh yeah, true. I mean, just use swatches is what I recommend for like this is only for choosing colors. Swatches is when you actually want to like keep something going. Because then you just sort of click, just speeds up the process a bit more. Okay, where was I? Distracted. Brass, yes. Grass time, grass. All right. Where am I? So I'm gonna duplicate. Let's work on some grass. Alright, to be fair, you should I take back what I said earlier about adding edges. Why isn't it? Oh, I was clicking on the wrong one. Bollocks. Wait. There you go. Yeah, just don't do edges on isometric stuff or any of these because it's harder to draw in. So, as I was showing with some of the examples we saw, you usually want to keep the edges without too much movement, because if you start having an edge here, when you go to link them up, it will just look a bit awkward. So try and keep the edges as they are. Don't try and mess around with them too much. But yes, keep everything straight. It's just the main bits for editing is literally just whatever's in here. This, don't play around with like any overhangs unless it's like the edge piece, then you can play around with it. To be fair, yeah, you're the one's gonna have to edit all these distractions out. But yeah, so in this example, obviously it's a little bit different than doing. I'm gonna just put my reference up here so I can focus on two things at once and not forget what I'm talking about. All right, so yeah, basically just mess around with that, and then we want to give it like some shape, so you could give a little like leaf pattern here. Ooh. Which you can follow whatever type of pattern to make it look like little grass bits. And you could add some more here. See, it's a bit weirder in isometric art because, you know, it's not as easy as just following the normal like grass patterns. And then we'll add, wait, what shade of green is this? Okay, found it. Add just some basic little bits. And try and make it look as organic as you can. You can zoom out. That's looking alright for now. I always tend to have a navigator on the side, because it helps sort of see what it would look like at a distance. Ooh. And basically, if you are ever sort of creating any piece, it's just good to have it in small, because if you can tell what's happening when it's small, usually indicates you're going somewhere good with it. But yeah, basically just sort of play around with adding a little bit of change and variety. It's basically what you want to try and get from this bit. Okay, and then what you can simply do is you can just have those shapes that we saw on what this that seems a bit too fit. You could just have like flat shapes and it'll still look fine, because again, even though it's isometric, you can still play around with the same principles. It's just things like the edges that may look a bit dodgy. You may have to play around a little bit to try and get it to look a little bit better, but I'm just going to show basics, because otherwise we could be here a long time if I hyperfixate and want to make it perfect. And I don't want to put too much editing on poor RLM, so we'll just keep it somewhat basic, I guess, for now. Just some basic edge work that we can play around with later. So I'll probably refine this for the final thing, but basically just things like that. Just make sure that you've got some variety in the piece, so it looks like there's actual like leaves and that coming out. Just play around with whatever little line patterns you can think of or feel fit your version. Again, it's all up to you. This is just how I want to do my versions. So a couple of things that semicircle, a couple of things that jug out, kind of what I want to look for in this case. Obviously you can use as much color variation as you want. I'm just going to add a bit of shadows underneath these just to give it a little bit more highlighting. Again, doesn't have to be perfect, but let's just give it a bit of depth. And then to add the inner bits, because this is quite bright already, so to be fair, we could do this and then also add some brighter bits up top. But I don't like that. I'm gonna go back to what we did. I like this here. Because we can essentially just, again, just form some little patterns like you do with normal grass tiles, where it's literally just little bits of grass here, a couple little bits here, maybe just a lone cluster. You've already got, actually no, the dots don't look good in this case. That's a simple how you can make grass. You can make grass be that bloody simple. And then for the dirt, we've already got pretty solid foundation, so we could just expand the dirt out a little bit on here, just to keep it a little bit circular on the edge. And a couple of darker little tones around here. And then just like little dirt marks or little cracks. Which shade to use here? Again, you want to try and avoid any edges, because once you start painting on edges, it might break it apart. But basically, when texturing things like dirt or grass and tar sets, you may need to have a couple variations that won't look too repetitive, so you want to try and break the illusion that it is a tar set. You want to try and make it look a bit seamless as much as you can, kind of like these are good examples. Oh, this is a good example. So you see here that not every single tile set has got a bit of a crack in it. Some are just plain tile sets. Wait, let me switch again. I can't remember my shortcut for switching scenes, sorry. Apologies. But if you look at this one, for example, you can see in the bits that I'm highlighting, like this little half section here doesn't have anything, but this section has a little bit of that crack. This you can add in post if you are doing a solid piece that's not going to be moving. But if you are doing tile sets, you can plan to have separate sections that either have or don't have, and then you can use your software to decide what it's going to have, basically. So in this case, I'm just gonna create like a bigger slightly bit here. I'm gonna have a couple just little potholes here. Maybe just a crack. Try to make it look like a crack. But to be fair, I know what might work better. Stones. Where's the greys? Make it look a little bit more gravelly. You don't necessarily have to like draw the sides here, because most of the time you're not going to see it, so only really do it if it's part of your sort of game. So if you are, say, like on a cliff edge, then yeah, you're going to have to draw the tile sets for it. But if you are just doing the top bits, you don't necessarily have to worry about doing any of that, because it's not going to be seen, and yeah, it might not be worth doing too much on it. It's too big. It does look a bit big. Yeah, that could work. Make it look like a little pebble. Right, so what other bits can you add? So a different version could be so you can have a different version that has a different amount of pebbles or gravel, whatever you want to call it. play around here by having no grass. No worries, Lady S. Thank you for joining. I mean, it will be a VOD, so you can catch up on all of this later on in the week. I will be forcing RLM to create a little something. But yeah, all jokes aside, this will all be up live on YouTube, hopefully by the end of next week. So no worries, thank you for joining, and see you soon. But yeah, basically, yeah, that is, in essence, how you would begin to design that little bit for the grass. So I would always recommend just doing like a couple of little bits just to play around with. I'm gonna add a bit more grass on this side, so I feel like it's missing just a little something. Doesn't have to be much. There you go. And you've got some nicer looking grass. And we'll repeat the same process on this corner slab here. So we'll just follow on the edge we did last time. What is a good way to angle text? I need more context. What do you mean? Like angle text in Photoshop, angle it like skewing it, angling it as in like in 3D space? Or just send me on Discord what you're referring to and I'll have a quick look. Oh shit, you want to do like proper text? Oh, okay, so what would be the best way? Because usually if you're doing it in Photoshop, you can... Let's see if I can do it on here. Give me a second. Wait, let me zoom out, make this bigger. Wait, it's too big. Let's make it bold. Just a bit. Let's see. So if you're using Photoshop, I don't know on Sprite. There probably is a tool on Sprite for that as well. Oh, all that. Okay, so if we were doing it on Photoshop, say for example, if I got the grid here and I wanted to angle, this would where the control tool could come in handy, because I can just skew the text to fit pretty much perfectly on it. Almost perfectly. There we go, that's perfect. And then, yeah, on Photoshop, it's literally that easy to do it. But alas, you're not doing it in Photoshop, are you? I'm assuming you're not doing your one in Photoshop. Ah! I mean, if you want to scale it down, you could literally just... Okay, if you're doing a Photoshop, you could literally just do what I'm doing. You can cheat. This might be easier than having to work it all out yourself. Because if you wanted to, you could try and align each letter to your grid. But I think literally this might be easier for you to do it, if I'm honest. Just do that. Lower the opacity. Yeah, wait, hold on. Yeah, I forget. All right, too many things to remember this week. But yes, I remember you sent me the sketch file. Yes. But yeah, you could literally just do this while I'm doing, you know, just tracing over the text and then cleaning up whatever you can, following whatever line pattern you can. So if this looks a bit too small, you can just clean up a little bit. Just so you don't get the anti-aliasing. So it's like literally just follow the same technique that you did for most of the shapes, because if you use, what font did I think I used Open Sans. if you continue with Open Sans and then just clean up the anti-aliasing, it should work. But yeah, just literally right click and then click skew, and then when you go into this little thing and you see this bit, you can then play around with it. Ooh. And then yeah, you've got it. So Photoshop, pretty easy. Again, this is why Photoshop I use over Sprite, because I know it's got way more tools for image manipulation. Hey, Photoshop did not like that. Alright, so let's just continue. Wait. But you wouldn't believe what I've done. Done a big oopsie. So much effort to put layer on top. Where did I leave it? No worries, bro. Stay safe. Thank you for the assets as always. And yeah, I mean, you'll see the rest of the stream when you edit it. Catch you around, bro. Stay safe. What we've got left? Oh, we've still got quite a few people left. Oh, a couple of people just realized that 3 of those are just my bots. What time are we at as well? About 1 hour in. Yes. Where was I? Grass. Finalizing the grass. Let me just merge these layers together. Then we continue. But yeah, basically you kind of want to repeat that same sort of pattern across the entire sort of set. So whatever you use for one, whatever you've established as sort of like your grass blades, that's all good, man. I mean, that's what a stream is. I know some people doing it for background noise. I have no quarrels. I was just checking to see if anyone was going to be up for playing a game or something later before the stream ends. Oh yeah, why is that being picked up? Oh, there we go. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, there we go. And yeah, so that looks pretty nice, I think. Yeah, I like that. Let's finish off this tile with a bit of... If you want to make it quick as well, just remember to click contiguous, not contagious, contiguous on your magic wand tool, and you can just select and draw only on one bit, and it makes it just so much easier to play around with. Again, we'll just add a couple little rocks, a couple little bits of texture. I make the texture different to the grass, so it's a little bit easier to sort of decipher. But I'm just gonna make like little mounds in that. Same actually, I'm gonna make a little on that. There you go. Sweet. That's looking alright now, isn't it? Alright, now let's work on this. So we're gonna have one that's plain, or mostly plain. I think I'll put a couple. What was on the Pinterest one again? I forget what I was doing. Which style was I going for? Alright, style. Oh, this was done by Pixel Pete. Hell yeah, we love Pixel Pete. I'll show you guys some more little textures. So again, actually I'll do one with some flowers. Just a couple little textures. I mean, this is technically the path. Like the dirt is technically part of the path because you combine that together. So you still kind of got it. I think what I was gonna do later as well is show people how to get how to play around with like the actual. Oh, that's not the color. Like if you actually had like actual slabs, how to combine those together to make a little texture. So I'll probably show that the next bit. But don't worry about it. It's all good. It's all good. I'm gonna draw a happy little flower. Beep beep boop. Beep 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 boop. What's this? That's a nice one. Don't forget to add a bit of shading. Oh, magnifique. You know when I said don't add edges to your... This is what I mean by don't add edges. Only add edges at the bottom. Okay, that's that. That's that one. Ain't this looking pretty? Voila. And then for this one, we will just remove the flowers. So the way I did this one, as I mentioned, so you go into your magic wand tool, which is W, you click on it, and then you right click and you press select inverse, and then you can, so right now I would be erasing everything that's green, as you can see here. But if I right click and put go inverse, I'll only be able to delete whatever has been inverted. So that would be that shade of green. So remove that green and let's add a couple. Well, the style that XLP did that quite nice. Oh yeah, I remember the pattern. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and then 1, 2. There we go. Happy little guys. Oh. You wanted to add a couple little bits more. There you go. Ain't that lovely? Okay. There we go. Yeah. That's one way to start sort of developing your tile set. I think shall do. What would be this one? No. 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 Where's top? I'll do one more just to sort of polish off this bit. One more and then we'll move on to stone, I believe. Or adding like stone paths. I don't know if we'll have time to fully go into water today. So I'll probably do that another live stream. Because water can be actually... I'll show how simple water can be as well. Let me just load up an example so I can show... Okay, where are my examples? Ah, here we go. Lovely. Found some stuff. Example 2. I mean, again, water can be super bloody easy. Just depends how complex you want to make it for yourself. Will that be all? Can I find any other ones before? Let's switch back here. Oh, this is a beautiful example. Ah, I've been inspired. I'll show you what. This piece, beautiful. I'm going to steal this section for today. I'm going to show you guys how to do this bit as well. It's pretty easy. It's just combine my famous rock tutorial that somehow people really liked and add that underneath and you got it. Same with water. Water, legit, like, it can be as simple as that. I'm going to switch back to Photoshop and leave that on there so I can show you guys. I can have that as my reference. So, finish off this bit up here. So, playing around. No, I've just realized I wasn't lining up tile sets correctly. Oh well. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. What I've done. One of them's gone alright. Either way, shouldn't matter too much because it's just for the tutorial that we're doing this today. It's not the end of the world if it's not perfect. I'm just going along. I'm using this as a guide, so like the sides. It's my guide. Obviously here it didn't. Okay, there we go. Just counting that everything's on 2s. Okay, well that isn't because. Yeah, okay, that's more. That's more. A little bit more shading on some of these. Yo, Pixel Ring! Welcome, mate, welcome. Glad you could make. We're just doing some stuff if you're... Wait, hold up. Are you online or just follow? I got the notification for a follow. Apparently just a follow. He's not actually here. Oh, wait, what? Sorry, I've just realized that I've been here the whole time. There we go, this camera. Sorry, I need to play around at the field of view of my camera because I'm like up close gremlin drawing and then I forget that you guys can't see me half the time or not. I've got to play around with that. That'll be a later fix though. Alright. Now this is where the fun begins. So 1, 2, 3. Oh. Let's do this properly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my god, We got 'em, boys. And then okay, and then hide that. Oh. Oh, this is where the fun begins. There we go. Look, we are tiling. Seamless tiles. Well, mostly. Again, you can kind of tell when they repeat. But almost seamless tiles. Almost seamless tiles. That is a beautiful patch of land, I must say. But yeah, this is what I mean. Like, once you've got it mostly done, you can then come in and edit it in post if you feel like you've got the wrong things, and just move stuff about, or, you know, copy. Oh, hit the wrong one. You can just copy paste. Fix the style later. It's not essential for now. It's not essential for the lesson. But yeah, you can just add in your little thing. And yeah, PvZ, yeah, it is a bit Plants vs Zombie-esque. That is very true. But yeah, right. I'll go back. So I just realized I've done an oopsie. I forgot to render out the top bit of this tile. That's better. So yeah, I mean, that in a nutshell is isometric tiles, specifically looking at grass tile sets. I was going to show you guys how to do so. If you wanted to do something a little bit more snazzy with your piece, like once, like on the edges particularly. So we'll... Okay, I think that's looking better now. So I'll move these to the top, so I know I got Alright, so I'm gonna merge these two together. And then I'm gonna show you how to do this little effect on there. You can see on the edges. So we're gonna do it on this little side. So if you are on a little cliff face for your piece, here's what you can do. So if to be fair, I could probably show. Yes, I think I know what I can show you guys. So, I could probably show you how to do water as well from here. There we go. Oopsie. There we go. Water tile. Yeah, I generally could quickly show how to do water. How deep does it go? Okay, where's the tile? What did the reference have? Colors. Okay. Do I want to play around with blending modes? Not particularly. It's a whole other tutorial to explain blending modes. Let's just get this looking alright. This will be top. Yeah, to be fair, water tiles might be a bit tricky because you have to play around with transparency and all that. So it might just be easy to just show you what a solid block of water can be textured as, rather than playing around with opacity layers and transparency. Because that isn't never easy. Following the grid. There we go. Okay. So, if you had water tile, some simple tricks to make water look like water. I mean, should I teach transparency today? Don't know if I got the time. It is a little bit annoying to teach because there's a lot to remember for them, and I don't remember the specific. I just remember what they do, but it might be a bit much for a game specific engine. I don't know if game engines can do that. I'll teach another day. For now, water. Simply get yourself a brighter color, and on the edges, actually to be fair, you might want to work on tiles, but you kind of just want to sprinkle in some little like water splashes, and then you kind of want to find some edges to give it that sort of like foam. In fact, you could probably do it on this bit. Easier. You want to try and find some bits to give it some of that foam effect, which is just like little rings. Be rough with them at first. Some other bits. Ooh. So kind of like the grass, you want to add some little like repeatable patterns, but these ones have to look a bit more water. When I say water, is pixel art. It's not the easiest thing to do. Then texture a couple of them more with some brighter whites. Give it that edge foam look. And you can go again with a little bit of darker on the edges. Give it a bit of shadow. And clean up any jaggies that you got if you want to. Obviously it's up to preference how much you want to add. Not the best water, but could look something simple as actually that's a bit too fuzzy. That's a bit too much texture. Let's do it this way. So, none of that. There we go. Line it up. I'm just gonna quickly line up the water again, so I feel like it's gone out of sync. And then as before, just highlight, reverse, and then we can get back to stage 1. To be fair, usually when you want to be developing something, you always want to make a copy of it, so if you do want to ever, you know, do what I did and mess up, you can just play from it from the start. So, water tile, round 2. A slightly simpler approach. So just grab a big brush, get that little foam texture, and just remember to try and keep the edges almost on the same level when they touch. So this was 4 pixels. Why is that a 3rd pixel? Oh, I may have messed up the count. That's alright. And then literally just plop in some circles to show the foam aspect of it. As before. But keep like a bigger blob. The difference is we're keeping a bigger blob here. It's slightly more sparser. More considered. Detailing on the water here. Add some more on the edge. If I think, depending on where you look, you might want to add more water along this bit of the edge, like towards the actual edge itself to show the foaming. I guess depends what you prefer. And then add your odd bit here. That looks a bit better. Again, you can always play around with it, but essentially that's what you can have your water textures to look like in its most rudimentary and simple form. And then if you wanted to add more bits to your rocks, as we showed in the previous one, you can simply extend out the tile set, because obviously this tile set won't be extended here, so you can extend it beyond its border. Just play around with the shape. So as I've probably shown in many tutorials before, it's simply just outline your stone, what you want the stone to look like. Oh, that's a bit much. So the stone doesn't necessarily have to be shadow all the way through. There is a method to the madness, I promise. We can extend the grass out here a little bit more. We want it to hang. We also just fluff it out like you would with a tree. And once again, we select the green and we can add textures here. And then add some more shadows. And for the rock surfaces that are appearing, oh, where was the reference I had? Show me an example. I don't remember where I put it now. Did I save it somewhere? I don't know. That's alright, we'll play around with it. We'll add some more highlighting on the rocks here. Then what you would probably do as well on the water surface is you may want to expand it out so it connects. And then it has these sort of rock edges sort of juttering out a little bit more to make it feel like it's actually connected to the water, rather than just being like an isolated part. Again, this is stuff you could probably just add in post if you're doing as like a traditional piece. Obviously for game dev, might be a bit different. Again, I'm no game dev, so I don't know if it's the same or if it's too different, but be one way to sort of connect the lake and the edges of it. Hey man, I mean, there's little details. There's literally little details. Like, this is in no means like perfect or whatnot, but it's just because I kind of understand how to sort of trick the eye a little bit with pixels. That from a distance you kind of like, say for example, if we just I'm just gonna try and see if I can snapshot a good section of it. Give me a second. Sound was too high. Oh wait, is there audio problems again? Apologies if there is. There you go, that's a little snapshot of what it could look like. Oh, fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, this is what it could look like as a little snapshot of everything together. So if we would just take away all the distractions, that is kind of the essence of what doing something isometric at a close-up scale could look like.